thanks for tuning in. I'm Alex Crypto. Check out the website at alexcrypto.com or check me out on Twitter at alexcryptotv. Today I wanted to talk to you about Bitcoin Cash, but first let's take a look at the cryptocurrency market capitalization. It currently stands at $328 billion. Kind of been holding steady over the past week. Maybe took a little bump back there on March 17th. Today I wanted to talk to you about Bitcoin Cash, however. The current price of Bitcoin Cash is $971.88 on average across most of the exchanges. Now there's been a lot of FUD going around about Bitcoin Cash, and a lot of the big names in the industry like Richard Hart, for example, and Tone Vase. None of them like Bitcoin Cash for some reason. So who knows where this thing is gonna go, but I think the FUD may be on purpose. I think secretly people are snapping it up. Anyways, let's take a look here at the Bitcoin Cash data. So the volatility in the 30-day, in the last 30 days was 31%, so that's not a bad gain. It's 77% off its all-time high, which was $4,355. But that was potentially due partly to insider trading. There was some allegations of that with Coinbase when they decided to list Bitcoin Cash, that there was some kind of, the price got pumped up and people were accused of insider trading, da 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 da. Anyways, let's take a look at the graph on TradingView. This is Bitcoin Cash to Tether pairing on Retraced. So let's take a look at the one-day graph to see what the hell is going on. Okay, so here we go. We see Bitcoin Cash here, and we see that it had its run up back in December like all the other cryptos, and then it began its retracement. Now from what I see here, it retraced already past the magic 78.6% zone, and I'm waiting for it to hit this 87.6% zone, because it's possible that it might retrace all the way down to the 605.11 cent area. How do I know that? Well, it just analyzing past algorithmic activity. Now, can it sink lower? Of course, anything could happen. There's all this negative FUD surrounding Bitcoin Cash, especially at the top echelons of the cryptocurrency industry. Okay, so anyways, let's look for these Fibonacci fractals that I talked about in my previous videos. Here you see me looking for patterns and analyzing. I mean, you don't see much, but if you go into the hourly charts or even deeper, then you start seeing these patterns repeating on large scales and small scales, fractal scales. So for example, the main chart, which you just saw, the daily, went up to the 100, started retracing and retraced down past 78.6%. Then we took this bump here, we went up to the top. Let's get this fib line accurate, and we started retracing back down past 78.6 to 87.6%. And notice the confluence. So now we have a confluence or confluence, or however you like to pronounce it. But if you look carefully, you notice that there's a long-term zone, fib zone right here. This is our long-term zone, and let me zoom out so I can remind you. This is the 78.6% or the $973 level, and this is the all-time long-term Fibonacci line. And a confluence means a coming together of. So on the smaller bump here on this sub-correction wave, on this, I guess, ABC in an ABC correction. So on leg B, right here, there's a confluence of fib levels. 278.6% lines are meeting together in roughly of the same area. And here's another sub-wave. And let's keep zooming in. There's that tiny sub-wave that you just saw. This is it. So let's keep zooming in. Let's keep zooming in. So we notice this wave set is correcting. You have your A, B, C. And take a wild guess where I think it's correcting to. You guessed it. 78.6 to 87.6%. which would be here. Now, you see the RSI is heading downward, right? You see that the stochastic is pointed downward. Stochastic RSI basically measures the momentum, whether the sellers are chasing the buyers or the buyers are chasing the sellers. And RSI measures the desperation. At least that's how I like to explain it to people. The RSI measures the desperation of the buyers and the sellers, whether the buyers are desperate to buy the crypto at any price, or whether the sellers are willing to get rid of it at any price. So that's basically what RSI measures, in my view. That's how I like to explain it to people. Anyways, on this sub wave, we notice it's now trying to continue its retracement down to this $875 level. And on the main chart, on this main zone here, you've noticed on this main fib line, this 78.6 level at around the $973 level, usually the graph will push past that line. The algos will keep pushing and selling past this 78.6 level to touch this 87.6 level. Now 87.6, again, it's not a real fib level, neither 70%, neither 33, neither 15.3. I put them in there myself because of my experience at trading, and these are the levels I like to work with because I noticed that the algorithms that trade also like to work with those levels. So anyways, moving on. So this is where I would expect for it to head. Now what you can do is you could set a buy order here and play this bump. Let's see my rectangle. So you could definitely set a buy order somewhere in this range here. And what you could do is you could play this bump, because what goes down must come up. So if it touched that line, it touched this line, the next retracement should take it back up here before taking it again. Nope. Let me unclicky click. There you go. I'll just duplicate. There we go. Before heading off this 33% mark at somewhere between 61.8 and 70. That's and it might play some hops in between here, between the 61.8 and the 70 and the 38. Tiny hops along the way, subwaves of subwaves of subwaves, these fractal patterns repeating themselves. So yeah, so basically what you would want to do is you would want to set a buy order there, and then set your sell order there, set your stop losses, blah 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 blah. And there you go, and you could play this from 875, and you could ride that BCH all the way to $1,000 bucks, 1,009 to be precise. Now on a longer term, even though this is a 2-day play, if not longer, because this is the hourly chart, but on an even longer play, what you would want to do is you would want to wait till this thing dips all the way down here. Let's get a thicker line. Well, it is already pretty thick. Yeah, but anyways, on the longer time scale, you would really want to play that down here, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Bitcoin Cash to make it all the way down here, which is where I'm going to put my buy order in, right here. That's going to be my zone at around the $608 mark. I'll probably set it a little bit above, because just because I set it at that level doesn't mean my order is going to get filled, because it briefly touches the line. It spends very little time at this 87.6% level. So you want to set it just a little bit above there, like somewhere here, and can't really go wrong. Unless it goes down further than that, then yes, you could go wrong, and then you're shit out of luck. But that's trading, you know, you're not going to get them all right. But again, you can use a combination of your experience, a combination of indicators like this RSI and the stochastic RSI, and you could look for these fractal patterns on various time scales, and you could see where the momentum of the market currently is, and you can make an intelligent hypothesis as to where it's going to go. So in summation, I'm waiting for the retracement to complete down to this $610 level, which is where I'll put my buy order. But on the way down there, you can play these little fib breakdowns, because there's going to be one here, and then it's going to retrace down again, and then between this zone and this zone, it's going to do a couple of these moves before even reaching the 87.6. So this play might even take a whole week. I mean, it looks like just a few little spaces here on the bar, but this is all like slow motion playing out. So just be patient. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and like, and have a good night.